Hello traders, welcome to the Forex weekly review. Now, watch the video till the end because I'm going to show you something on the CSM, and this week is an actual example, like a real good example to compare with last week. And like we saw in the last week, you would have seen that we did mention that the currency pairs, or rather the currency indexes, were had really moved away from each other. You can see here they're really moved away from each other, which basically means that the currency market was overextended. So you could see that the dollar and the CAD had a big fall, and post that what we had said in the last week video that markets will take a couple of days for before the currency markets kind of soften out and then eventually take some direction, right? So this is last Thursday and Friday, right? So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like this is the current week that ended. And you can see very clearly that after Friday, you can see these four currencies here, which is the CAD dollar, and you had the Swiss franc, right here, and you had the yen. So all of them. So on Monday, there was kind of a consolidation where eventually all these currencies came together right here on Tuesday, and then on Tuesday you had this. I won't really call this a sell-off on the dollar or on the CAD because before we proceed, I would like to mention that this is the reason why I want you guys to subscribe to the Telegram channel because that's where we are more active, right? So in case if you've not subscribed to the Telegram channel, please do that. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you like what we are doing, if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up, right? So here you can see these currencies eventually on Tuesday they came back together. So this week we really didn't see any one specific currency which was dominating, and one specific reason is because we had these overextended moves that happened in the last week. And throughout the week, if you would have noticed on the Telegram channel, personally, even I was not very confident because here you can see the MACD as well. Right, you can see there was no. It was very clear that the dollar was flat. Right, so this was the only little move that we had in the dollar index, which happened on a Tuesday, which you can see right here. This is what we saw on Tuesday, right? So we did have some opportunities on the pound USD, AUD USD, and the New Zealand dollar, right? And apart from that, there was no major move. The reason being, after this overextended move, currencies were in a range. So dollar was in a range, and so was the Canadian dollar. So you can see both the currencies were in a range. Now, compared to how we had a closing last week where we had these currencies extended, this week it's different, right? So you can see all these currencies have now kind of consolidated, and this is one reason why we didn't really have any big moves right this week, but I'm expecting that we will see some moves in the coming week, right? So obviously markets are dynamic, so we are going to look at the 8 currency index charts now, but markets are dynamic, so there is a very high possibility that starting tomorrow, day after, you may see some one specific currency really dominating the market. And like we always mention in all our videos, that you just have to be on the dominant side. So if I show you the Australian dollar index, you can very clearly see this is the breakout that we were talking about last week. So it did break, and then it's kind of finding support at the same level. So let's see if this move continues to the upside in the coming week. Now, in order for that to happen, what do we need to see? We just need to ensure that the Australian dollar, which is the red line here, that has to really move up and cross this 10 level. So personally, I use the 10 and the minus 10 level. So when I see a currency rising above the 10, so like you see here on Friday, we did have some potential opportunity on the New Zealand CAD, the New Zealand CHF, right? Because you can see here the New Zealand is marked in purple right here. This line, when it crossed the plus 10 on Friday, that showed that the New Zealand was strong. And when this crossing of the plus 10 happened, at the same time, the entire New Zealand basket of currencies was also strong, right? So just the line moving up doesn't really denote anything. You have to obviously do some little more analysis and check if the entire basket is showing a strong New Zealand dollar, right? So if you look at the Australian dollar, in case if it has to continue its move up, then we need to see a strong Australian dollar here, where I need to see it cross above plus 10, and obviously it has to be above all the other currencies, which because it has to dominate, there has to be maximum buying happening in the Australian dollar. As far as the New Zealand dollar is concerned, it did have a move this week. We did have some opportunities on New Zealand CAD, even on the New Zealand CHF. Like I mentioned, this week we didn't have a lot of pips, but if you were simply analyzing strength and weakness on a day-to-day basis, then you did have some good opportunities. So as far as the New Zealand dollar is concerned, this is something that I'm looking at. So you have a major news release on Wednesday. So I will obviously expect some action in the New Zealand dollar. But whatever position I look at the New Zealand dollar, I will do it only after Wednesday, because you can really expect something something to happen in the New Zealand dollar on Wednesday. So it's important that you are aware that in case, even if you see a strong New Zealand dollar or a weak New Zealand dollar, maybe starting tomorrow or Tuesday, just be aware that on Wednesday you can expect some action. So even if you get some positions, make sure that you are out of those positions before the news release. So I would like to take New Zealand trades only after the news release is out. Now, as far as the Canadian dollar is concerned, it is it is weak, right? Uh, it's just that we have to wait for some more correction has to happen here before it really heads down. But if you take a look at here, the Canadian has closed very weak. There has been a weak Canadian dollar, but this weakness is also got to do with this move here. So if you see here, the Canadian dollar had did show some weakness in the start of the week, but technically it's just moving in a range, right? So we just need to wait to see what direction it takes in the coming week. The dollar is interesting. Like I said, the entire week we were always wary of the fact that the dollar could either be in a range or maybe could possibly shoot up. So it didn't really shoot up, but then if you take a look at the monthly chart, you can see this is the level that has acted. This is a potential zone. I won't really mark these levels, but this is a zone. This is a zone where you could see some support in the US dollar. In fact, if you look at it on the weekly time frame as well, there, see, this is the level that it's coinciding with, right? So dollar is at a very interesting point right now. There is a very high possibility that it could go up and eventually enter a range, right? So because after this long move, that it's this specific downfall that we saw in a couple of weeks back, after that you can see this is pretty overextended. I mean, for me, it's a pretty overextended move. So there has to be a rally up before it goes down, or maybe it could just continue up, but we'll just have to wait and watch what happens. But in any case, this is a range that we are looking at. This range has to break, it has to go to the upside. Euro looks bullish, but like I said, that as long as if I see a strong euro week, then my money would be on the euro. But as of now, I don't have any position at the euro for the moment, because I would like to see how it opens up in the coming week. Similarly for Swiss franc, so Swiss franc did show some weakness this week, and that's the reason why you would have had some position on the New Zealand Swiss franc, long position on the New Zealand Swiss franc. Pound again has been range bound after this crash, and then it had this move up. So again, we need to wait and watch and see what is going to happen in the pound. Yen is something that you could obviously look for a possible breakout. So here you can see it's in a tight range. So I'm expecting some action in the yen in the coming week, right? So it is just that this is a light finance yen index chart. So if we see yen breaking to the downside, it means that the yen is getting strong. If yen breaks to the upside, it means the yen is getting weak, right? That's how the yen chart is on the light finance platform, right? So all in all, if you look at the currency strength meter at the moment compared to last week, like I mentioned, this is how Friday ended, but this is how Friday is today, right? So this is Friday last week, and this is Friday this week, right? Two days back. So obviously there has been some consolidation that has happened, so I'm expecting some good move to happen this week. All I'm going to do is I'm going to simply observe these 8 index charts, and when I see a currency which is absolutely dominating, then I will be posting it on the Telegram channel. And that's the reason why I mentioned that please join the Telegram channel, because that's the only way you could be in touch, because we keep updating a lot of things on the Telegram channel, right? So in case if there is any new update or any currency which starts dominating based on the currency strength meter, I will update it on the Telegram channel, right? So I hope you like this video. I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye bye.